Hi, hello. This is a presentation for my college's Together project that focuses on relational aesthetics. In other words, a piece that is made by its audience. The working name so far is Pick It and Roll With It. Okay, that name kinda sucked. Now then, I'll break down the idea into steps of how it would work in an ideal world. Step 1. I would use my little noodles on my hands to make a high-quality set of 52 cards that share design aspects of a standard set of playing cards. You know, keeping the symbols of spades, hearts, diamonds, and clovers. Clubs. Whatever, you know what I mean. The queens, kings, and jokers would also be there as well, but they would be represented in another way. A way that I will explain right now. Each of the cards out of the 52 will have a character illustrated on them. The characters that can be on them would be those from film, animation, and video games that are embedded into pop culture. For example, pop film stars like Jack Black could be on there, characters from cartoons like My Little Pony, characters from cartoons like the Powerpuff Girls Powerpuff Girls, even anime characters like Son Goku from Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball Z. As an aside, for those special cards I mentioned earlier, you know, the kings, jokers, and queens, I was thinking of reserving those cards for characters who best fit those roles. Take DC's Harley Quinn, or the Amazing Digital Circus's Pomni, for example. They could take the place of the jokers. Well, I guess it would be more fitting to pick, you know, the Joker from DC. We'll work on that later, it's fine. Moving on to step 2, after making the cards, they will be laid out on a mobile board of some kind, face down of course, and they will be stationed at a canteen of my college. Then on to step 3, I, the administrator, would stand next to the board, hopefully with some bright signage, waving over to people and trying to get them to look. And once they do, I'll ask one person to pick a card to reveal. And on step 4, that person would try to guess the character on the card with a maximum of 3 hints, with no outside help, of course. If they guess incorrectly, they put the card back and move on. Womp womp. But if they guess the card correctly, however, they can also move on to the next step of the plan. Speaking of which, step 5. That lucky person will then take the card and use that character on the card they picked to include in a round-robin story. The way a round-robin story works is that a group of people come together to create one story. The only catch is that there isn't any planning beforehand. Someone starts writing down and another continues where that last person left off. I'll have a pen and book in my hand for when that happens. Each person will only be able to write about a paragraph in length. You know, because of the amount of people. And that would pretty much be it. But there was one thing that I thought of that could round off this whole experience. I would imagine that I would illustrate the story in like a comic format or something. Well, that's the whole idea in a nutshell. Besides the technical aspects, like the audience being people my age, 16 to 18 years old, as you might have guessed. And the location, which is, again, my college. If I were to give a reason behind this idea of mine, I suppose it would